Revealed, how one amazing black woman transformed a billionaire's heart from hate to life-changing love, in the heart of Philadelphia, in a bustling neighborhood where dreams fought against daily struggles. Maya was a whirlwind of energy. Bright-eyed and weary from long hours, she balanced trays of pancakes and coffee by day, and swept corporate office floors by night. With her 2 kids laughing in the background, her modest apartment thrived with music and warmth, the sounds of laughter filling the air while neighbors rallied together, always there for one another. Yet amidst that joy, Maya's heart burned with a fierce longing for more, for a better life for her children. One fateful afternoon, a stark contrast rolled into her world. Charles Jennings, a billionaire tech mogul, cruised through her neighborhood in a tailored suit, a walking symbol of privilege and indifference. As he passed by, Maya watched from her post. His carelessness dripped in every step he took, while she felt the weight of her community's suffering. To him, they were shadows, mere distractions. To Maya, he embodied everything that kept her community in chains of systemic inequality. As Maya carried on with her day, biting back her indignation, she couldn't shake the sounds of shuttered stores and desperate families. The need for change echoed in her mind. After work that night, she called upon her neighbors, asking them to rally for a town meeting, a chance to confront Charles. So began the arm wrestling of ideologies, Maya's passion against Charles's arrogance. "You don't even know us," she challenged him one night, her voice steady despite the raging storm inside her. Each word was a razor, each glance shot daggers. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Each meeting teetered on rage and hope, but then tragedy struck. A fire swept through their community center, the heart of their neighborhood, turning laughter to cries, and unity to despair. The urgency to act transformed Maya's resolve. She saw Charles in a new light, vulnerable yet still distant, tied to his privilege. Heartbroken, he began questioning his past choices, the walls he had built around himself. Could he redeem himself? Could he find humanity in this sea of pain? Maya couldn't let him retreat. She stood there, fierce in her belief, eager to bridge the gap, showing him the resilience that thrived amidst the ashes. With tears in her eyes, she softened. "You can help us. It wasn't just a building, it was family." The weight of her words hung in the air, daring him to confront the truth. Would Charles's hardened heart unravel under the tenderness of her spirit? The stakes were high. As he wrestled with regret, Maya sparked hope in him, a flicker of change that might illuminate the darkness they both faced. Their intertwined fates were poised at the edge of transformation, begging for a resolution that remained just out of reach. The heart of their story beat ever more wildly, leaving the question lingering in the air: could love reshape judgment, and could empathy flourish in the most unexpected of couples? Maya was still reeling from the fire's devastation when she saw a flicker of something unexpected in Charles's eyes. They stood amidst the charred remains of the community center, debris scattered around, but it felt like the whole world had shrunk down to just the two of them. The air was thick with sorrow, yet beneath it all, there stirred an unlikely possibility. "Please," she implored, her voice breaking. "You can't ignore us anymore. We need someone to believe in us." She searched his face, hoping to find the spark of humanity hiding behind the layers of wealth and privilege. Charles's breathing was heavy. He blinked rapidly, as if waking from a dream. I didn't think." His words were slow, each one carefully chosen. He was grappling with the enormity of the situation and the stark realization of how detached he had always been. A part of Maya's heart softened. "We can work together. This place, it's not just a building. It's our lives." As she spoke, her mind raced with images of the kids playing in the courtyard, the friends sharing laughter, the community igniting hope in one another. "You can help us rebuild, not just the structure, but our spirit. Charles rubbed the back of his neck, the weight of her plea settling over him like a heavy blanket. I know I have the resources. But I've never done anything like this, he admitted, vulnerability creeping into his tone. Why would you trust me? Maya stepped closer, her heart thumping. Because real change starts when you make a choice. You don't have to be the symbol of privilege anymore. You can be a partner. You can show the world that you care. He looked away, jaw tightening. Maya wondered if he believed in her words. If he could step out of his comfort zone and face the people he once ignored, it could change everything. Let me show you, she said, desperate to reach him. Come to our neighborhood. Meet my kids. Meet my neighbors. Feel what it's like to live in our world. For the first time, a glimmer of determination sparked in Charles's eyes. Okay, let's see what I can do. The words came hesitantly, but they held promise. As they parted ways that day, the air crackled with unspoken possibilities. Maya felt a warmth spreading in her chest, while Charles walked with a newfound weight, as if the invisible chains he had worn for years were beginning to loosen, but the path ahead was laden with doubt. Had he truly taken the first step toward change? Would he follow through? Maya's hope was heavy, yet a part of her remained cautious. In the weeks that followed, Charles showed up at town meetings, tables lined with plans, ideas for reconstruction spilling forth. Yet, sometimes, Maya could still see the hesitation in his eyes. As they began working closely, she wondered if he could truly abandon the privilege that had served him so well. Could they construct not only buildings but also a future? As new challenges arose, would the truth of his commitment shine brightly enough to dispel the shadows of doubt? With the drums of change echoing in her heart, Maya prepared for a rocky road ahead, filled with wins and losses. She never realized how deep their fight would run, the fears and vulnerabilities that would rise. And then she received an unexpected call from a local news station. They wanted to cover the story of their town's rebuild, highlighting the billionaire who was trying to change. Would this publicity expose the raw truths that lay beneath their tentative bond? Or would it threaten to undo every fragile step they had taken together? Maya took a deep breath, her racing heart pressing questions to the surface. Was she ready for the world to watch, and could love really be enough to transform both of their lives if they let it? Maya stared at her phone, her heart fluttering as the words, local news station, echoed in her mind. This opportunity felt monumental. It was one thing to rebuild her community in silence, but to share their story with the world. It could mean everything. Yet a cold fear crept in. What if the exposure glittered too brightly on the good intentions that still felt so fragile? She paced the cramped living room of her apartment, the walls adorned with family photos and homemade artwork from the kids. Each piece spoke of resilience and joy, contrasting starkly with the charred remnants of the community center. Would the world care about their struggle, or would they only see the shiny facade of a billionaire? The next evening, Maya met Charles again, surrounded by blueprints and plans strewn across the conference table at a community cafe. He was deep in thought, barely touching his cup of coffee. Maya's instinct told her he felt the weight of the upcoming publicity, the doubts swirling around in his mind like dark clouds. Are you ready for this? She asked, letting the question linger in the air. Charles looked up, his brow furrowed. I think so, but what if it backfires? What if they only see me, the rich guy swooping in? Maya's heart pounded, but she grasped that moment keenly. It's not just about you. It's about the stories of our people. They LLC us, and our fight for a better future. This is an opportunity to highlight real struggles. The sincerity around her words made him nod, but there was still apprehension in his eyes. But what if I mess it up? Maya leaned forward, compelled to anchor him in reassurance. You have to trust yourself, Charles. Just be genuine. Show that you care. That's what matters. As they discussed their plans, her voice became a steady rhythm, reassuring both their worlds could come together. She sought to paint the picture of hope he could embody, much more than the labels that had chained him. Days turned into nights as they strategized, inviting community members to share their experiences. Charles was slowly practicing vulnerability, gradually dipping his toes into a world that had been merely pixels on a screen before. Then the day of the interview arrived. Cameras crowded around the makeshift stage outside the remains of the community center, and a small crowd gathered, whispering and looking on with a mixture of skepticism and faint hope painted across their features. Maya stood beside Charles, her pulse racing. In that moment, she felt both terror and excitement. She couldn't help but think of all the children counting on their voices being heard. As the news reporter introduced them, Maya saw Charles' south shoulders square, determination brightening his expression. "I've never stood in front of a crowd like this," he admitted softly, almost as if he were speaking to her alone. "What if I stumble?" "You won't," she assured him, squeezing his hand. "Just speak from your heart." Then it was their turn. Tightness in her throat almost silenced her, but a fierce warmth bloomed inside. As she spoke, detailing the community's spirit, she stole glances at Charles. Yet, as the cameras rolled, something unexpected happened. His voice wavered at first but then solidified as he opened up about the fear he felt growing up in privilege, separated from the struggles of so many. Each word flowed, raw and unfiltered. Maya thought she could see the profound transformation unfolding before her, but as she watched the reactions of the crowd, something shifted. Murmurs rippled through the audience. Was it admiration? Skepticism? The moment hung thick with uncertainty, and she wrestled with the growing tension. Did they truly believe him, or was doubt shadowing the light of his sincerity? As the segment ended and they stepped away from the microphones, Maya caught her breath. Charles turned to her, his smile bright but uncertain. "Do you think they understood?" Before she could answer, a voice from the crowd broke in, hesitant yet curious. "But will you keep your word?" Maya's heart sank. The question was innocent but laden with weight. Would she be able to protect this fragile bond? She glanced at Charles, rolling uncertainty through her mind like waves crashing. Could their journey withstand public scrutiny? With her heart thumping wildly, she knew this moment would define their path. Little did they know that the answers they sought might push them to confront deeper fears than either had anticipated. Maya felt the weight of the crowd's question settle heavily on her shoulders. It echoed in her mind, its simplicity almost cruel against the backdrop of her ambition. "Will you keep your word?" It jolted her from the dizzying rush of adrenaline she had felt just moments ago. She turned to Charles, searching his eyes for reassurance, for strength. He bit his lip, his brow furrowing deeper than she'd ever seen it. The vulnerability she had seen during their planning session seemed to teeter at the edge of a precipice now, where fear threatened to pull him back into that world of privilege and distance. "Let us show them we can," Charles murmured, drawing a breath that seemed to fortify him. They stood together, a united front. A camera zoomed in, capturing the raw emotions of the moment. For better or worse, they were now a part of the story, their voices interlocked in this shared journey. Just as the moment started to feel solid again, a murmur rose from the crowd. The voice grew bolder, slicing through the tension. "But what about the community center? Are you really going to help us rebuild it, or is this all just a publicity stunt?" Maya's veins ran cold. Doubts surfaced like dark clouds. The question was valid, it was what she had wrestled with since the first meeting with Charles. His good intentions were noble, but intentions often danced close to promises wrapped in smoke. "Look at the faces here," Maya said, her voice steady but filled with urgency. "These people need more than just a shiny press story. We are here to show that we can rebuild this community, together, rooted in shared purpose." The crowd listened. Their expressions fluctuated from skepticism to flickering hope. Even the boy with the skateboard in the front line, his body twisting with nervous energy, seemed to lean in a little closer, caught in the web of Maya's words. But the questions kept coming. "And what if he just gives you money? That doesn't help. What about real, lasting change?" Each question, though tough, stripped away another layer of ease. Maya could feel the heat of Charles's panic rising next to her, but she refused to waver. "We need more than money, and Charles knows that," she pressed. "This is a partnership, not a transaction. He's learning too. Isn't that part of the change we want?" Before she could catch her breath, she noticed Charles stepping forward, poised with a quiet determination. Had he found his voice again? "I grew up thinking giving was enough," he admitted, his words steady, resonating with a weight that felt authentic. "But I've learned that true change means understanding the pain and joy of those you wish to help. I won't just throw money and walk away. I promise to be here. To work beside you, all not for you, but with you." There it was, the intensity of his unveiling. The risk of opening up combined with the hope of connection. Eyes sharpened, the crowd shifting between them, embracing doubt and joy in a single moment. But still, could they trust him? That question lingered like mist, clouding their judgment. Maya felt it, the simmering mix of hope and skepticism pulsing in the air like a heartbeat. Then the reporter's voice broke through, redirecting the media spotlight. "How can you prove this? Isn't just talk. We need commitments. Our community needs more than words." Maya's mind raced. This moment at the makeshift stage wasn't merely an interview, it was the spark of something larger, a reckoning, a chance to define not only their futures but the very fabric of trust within the community. Suddenly, a wild idea sprang into her heart. What if they hosted an open community event? A day filled not just with speeches but hands-on activities that involved everyone. It could showcase their commitments, their unity. The doubts hovering could be countered with tangible actions. "Let us host our first community day this weekend," she announced, surprising even herself with the fervor. "We can share meals, stories, and even start the first steps toward rebuilding together." Charles turned to her, caught off guard for a brief moment before it dawned on him too. "Yes. We could have workshops, invite everyone to engage in the rebuilding process. I'll fund it, but it will be their designs, their ideas." Excitement flickered in the crowd. For the first time, something bright started to break through the clouds of skepticism. Maya felt adrenaline tug at her. This was a leap, an invitation to trust. But would it be enough to bridge the gap? Would the community embrace the billionaire's intentions, or would they let fear steer their course? The crowd buzzed, energy mixing with uncertainty. Maya's heart raced as she turned to Charles, her mind already racing ahead to the potential hurdles. Could they truly deliver? With tentative hope growing, she knew their journey was just beginning. Would the community embrace this new path, or would walls of doubt keep rising around them? The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow over the anxious crowd as Maya and Charles stepped off the makeshift stage. The excitement from the earlier announcement lingered, but so did a thick layer of uncertainty. Maya could sense it in the way people exchanged glances, their expressions a medley of hope and skepticism. "Did I just step off a cliff without a parachute?" she whispered to Charles, her heart still racing. Charles let out a chuckle, though it felt more like a nervous release than genuine laughter. "No, you just made everyone realize we're serious. We need to make this work." As they moved deeper into the throng, eager conversations erupted around them. The boy with the skateboard had found his courage and was gathering his friends, discussing ideas for the community day. Maya stopped for a moment, her heart swelling as she watched the boy animatedly sketching plans in the air. But shadowed thoughts tugged at her. What if they failed? What if their plans fell flat, and the community felt betrayed again? Her faith in this endeavor seemed delicate, like a new bud struggling to break through the winter frost. "Let us go meet the organizers," Charles suggested, breaking her reverie. His eyes sparkled with an enthusiasm that mirrored her own, though she felt a deeper fissure of worry in the air. They weaved through the crowd towards a small group by a food truck. The savory aroma of grilled corn wafted over them, a direct invitation to engage in this new chapter. Maya felt her stomach churn. Was it the smell or anxiety? As they approached, her eyes locked with a woman in the group, Rita. Rita had run the community center's after-school program for years and was a fierce protector of the neighborhood's children. If Maya could win her over, maybe they stood a chance. "Hi, Maya," Rita said, her voice steady but laced with a challenging edge. "You know we don't take kindly to empty promises here." Maya took a deep breath. "I get that. I mean it when I say we want this community day to be about you, all of you. What can we do to make it real?" Rita crossed her arms, considering her words. "We want jobs, not just a summer project. Can you give us that?" "Absolutely," Charles jumped in. "We're planning to hire local people for every project we start. We want your expertise. Your designs lead the way. But real jobs, with fair rates," Rita pressed, her glare unyielding. "Not just a handout." Maya felt a spark of unity building as others nodded in agreement. "Yes, we'll make sure of that," she replied, heart pounding. "We can connect you all with local businesses that can help." Rita studied her for a moment before a hint of a smile cracked through her tough exterior. "All right. I'll help spread the word about this community day. But we'll need more than promises to feel safe trusting you." Maya clenched her fists, a burst of determination fueling her. "We'll show you. I promise." With each word, she felt a tangle of fear and excitement whip through her. This was not just a chance to mend a building but to weave a network of hope. If they could bring the community together, it would be their first step toward healing. As their conversation flowed, Charles' phone buzzed in his pocket, pulling him away to answer a call. Maya stayed with Rita, answering questions and weaving ideas for what the day could look like. Then, as the sun dipped behind the horizon and the sky glowed warm with fading light, Rita leaned in, voice low. "Listen, Maya, I'm not the only one watching you. People want to see actions, not just words. Be ready for anything." Maya's stomach turned again, this time with the weight of the challenge ahead. What if they couldn't deliver on their promises? As she nodded, a shadow crossed her heart. What if this was all too soon? Would they be ready for the scrutiny? Suddenly, she could hear laughter erupting nearby, a group of kids lighting up their faces, bursting with energy. Her heart softened. They needed this. She needed this, but as the buzz from the crowd grew, a new thought crept in. When it was time to show who they really were, would they rise to the occasion or crumble under the weight of expectations? Maya glanced at Charles, who was still murmuring on the phone, his expression earnest. She felt a rush of urgency. Time was slipping away, and they had no idea what lay ahead. Would their sincerity be enough to navigate the obstacles coming their way? And what would happen if the community still held back their trust? The night unfolded with new questions, heavy with the scent of potential and doubt. Maya stood at the edge of the gathering, watching as Charles wrapped up his call. She could see the shift in the atmosphere. People were beginning to gather their ideas and hopes, drawn together by the promise of change. The sound of laughter mingling with excited chatter enveloped her like a warm blanket, pushing away the anxious chill that gripped her heart. "Hey, you okay?" Charles asked, slipping his phone into his pocket as he approached. "Yeah, it's a lot, you know." She replied, forcing a smile. "What did they say?" "They're excited. But they have questions." "Real questions," he said, casting a quick glance around the crowd. "We need to be prepared." Maya met his gaze, determination flooding her veins. "We will be. We can split up. You handle logistics, and I'll talk to more community leaders. We can gather more support tonight." "Great idea," he exclaimed, enthusiasm bubbling up again. "Let us show them we're serious." As the evening thrummed with energy, Maya approached a circle of neighbors discussing ways to engage local businesses. They were skeptical but intrigued, still wrestling with the ghosts of broken promises past. She knew the importance of patience and the challenge of regaining trust. These were not just empty words for her, they were a mission, a chance to build something lasting. "Hey everyone, I'm Maya," she called out, catching their attention. I know some of you have been hurt by past projects, but I'm here to build with you. What do you need to know to feel secure in this? An older man, his face lined with years of hard-won wisdom, stepped forward. You say you want to help, but how do we know it won't just be another flyer on a fence? Maya felt the weight of his gaze, piercing through her bravado. I promise, we'll start small and make it real. I want to hear your ideas directly. If we all get behind it, we can turn this into something powerful. The group grew quiet, the tension palpable. She could sense them measuring her sincerity against the backdrop of their past disappointments. Then a young woman with bright, determined eyes piped up, I think we should have a job fair during the community day. It would show people you mean business. Yes. Maya replied, her heart lifting. That's a fantastic idea. We can connect with local businesses and invite them to set up booths. Real opportunities right here in our neighborhood. Some murmurs of agreement washed through the group, and Maya felt a spark ignite. The wall of doubt wasn't impenetrable, it was merely waiting for the right approach to begin crumbling. Let's make a list of businesses we can contact, Maya suggested, her voice now steady with resolve. And we will need a team of volunteers to organize everything. It'll show everyone we're in this together. Smiles began to break through the earlier skepticism. People were leaning in, brainstorming ideas and sharing their visions. For the first time that evening, Maya felt the thrill of connection, a palpable change in the air as they huddled closely, voices merging into a choir of hope. When Charles rejoined them, he could see the shift. What did I miss? He grinned. They're on board. She exclaimed, heart soaring. We just need to keep the momentum going. The hour grew late, and a peaceful buzz enveloped the crowd. As the stars twinkled into the velvet night, Maya knew they were still walking a tightrope. The challenge was far from over. Then, unexpectedly, a figure approached from the shadows. It was a local man known for his tough exterior and distrustful nature, someone who'd been vocal about his skepticism of outside help. Maya, he said, voice low but steady, I want to join your team. Stunned, Maya felt her heart leap. This could be the breakthrough they needed. But what did this mean for the others who still doubted? As Maya opened her mouth to respond, a flurry of excitement pulsed through her. If he was stepping forward, perhaps others would too. But would they all truly commit, or would this moment turn out to be another fleeting hope? The night air crackled with potential, and in that moment, she sensed both fear and excitement pooling within her. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the edge of something monumental, something that could shift it all. But as Maya watched the man step closer, she couldn't help but wonder, was this the turning point they'd been waiting for, or just another moment to test their resolve? Maya, the man repeated, stepping into the warmth of the circle, where shadows melted away in the glow of the nearby lanterns. His face, roughened by years of distrust, was surprisingly soft around the edges. Eager eyes met hers, glimmering with a flicker of vulnerability. I'm sorry, he said, his voice steady but tinged with hesitation. I know I've said my piece about projects like this before. I've seen them come and go, leaving us with empty promises. Maya nodded, fully understanding where he was coming from. I appreciate your honesty. It's important that we acknowledge that history. What do you want from us? He asked, folding his arms. Trust doesn't come easily around here. Maya felt a wave of empathy wash over her. Trust was a two-way street, and she had to meet him where he was. What if we create a space for open conversations? She proposed, her heart racing. We could host gatherings where everyone can voice concerns and ideas. Let us develop a project that reacts to your needs instead of pretending to know what they are. Some in the crowd leaned back, still wary, but she noticed nods of agreement flowing through others. The man raised an eyebrow. Words are easy. They are, she admitted, but actions speak louder, right? Show up when we say we will. Follow through. It's all I ask. To earn trust together. He was about to respond when a voice broke in from the back. And what if it fails? A woman with tired eyes and worn hands stepped forward. What's the backup plan if this doesn't work out? Maya felt the weight of this question, sensing its urgency. Then we figure out why, she said firmly. No project is perfect. We'll learn, adapt, and pivot if we need to. Failure is just another step toward success. The crowd grew still for a moment, as they absorbed her words. Then the older man from earlier, who had first challenged her, raised his hand again. You're asking for us to open our hearts to this. But what's in it for us? That question rang deep. Maya could feel the gravity of it, the vulnerability it carried. Honestly? She said, taking a deep breath. It's more than just jobs or a fare. It's about ownership, about becoming part of something bigger. It's about pride, dignity, and building a place we can all call home. Small murmurs surged through the group. The doubt was still thick, but the air had shifted. She could almost feel them leaning in, the tension morphing into something else entirely. Then the man stepped closer again, curiosity sparking in his eyes. All right, if we do this, what's the first step? Let's put together a community day, where we can all promote ideas, build connections, and celebrate our talents, Maya responded, her voice vibrant with excitement. We'll invite businesses, but also showcase local artists and talents. A real community experience. Yeah. Someone called from the back. We've got musicians, bakers, artists, all of us. Maya took in the growing enthusiasm. Exactly. Together, we'll show what we're capable of when we lift each other up. It won't just be another event, it'll be our declaration to everyone watching, this is who we are. Slowly, more hands went up in agreement. Maya's heart raced as she realized they were beginning to shift from skepticism to something hopeful. As chatter began to pick up around her again, she caught a glimpse of Charles, who stood off to the side, a proud smile illuminating his face. All right, the man finally said, a hint of a smile breaking through his tough exterior. Let's do this. Just as hope swelled in the air, a car pulled up nearby, its headlights cutting through the darkness. They all turned to see a figure step out, someone who everyone recognized, someone with power and a past mixed with fear. What are they doing here? Maya whispered anxiously to Charles, her stomach nodding. The figure began walking toward them, and Maya could feel the air grow thick with tension as they all anticipated what might come next. Would this be another disruption or an unexpected opportunity? The figure moved closer, and Maya's heart raced as familiar features emerged from the shadows. It was Brenda, the town's former mayor, who had once commanded respect but had fallen from grace after making too many controversial decisions. Some in the crowd muttered among themselves, exchanging uneasy glances. Brenda was a symbol of authority that had failed them many times before. Maya, she called, her voice cutting through the murmurs. There was a confidence in her stride, something that had been rare for too long. I hope you don't mind me crashing your little gathering. You know this isn't just a gathering, Maya replied, trying to maintain her composure despite the tension in the air. She gestured to the community members around her, sensing their uncertainty about Brenda's intentions. We're trying to create something meaningful here, for everyone. Brenda's eyes searched the crowd, gauging who was open to her presence. That's good to hear. I've been watching and maybe I was a little too harsh about this community project. I'm here to listen. What can I do to help? The older man, who had challenged Maya before, stepped forward, still holding on to skepticism. And why would we trust you now? You've made promises before. Brenda nodded, acknowledging the past. I get it. Look, I messed up. I let politics and power blind me to the needs of our community. She paused, her voice lowering as she leaned into the vulnerability. But I want to redeem that. I want to use my resources to actually make a difference this time. An uneasy silence lingered overhead. Maya sensed the collective breaths of her neighbors, teetering on the edge of acceptance or rejection. "What does that mean for us?" came a voice from the back, a young man clutching a guitar in his hands. "It means funding," Brenda said, holding her ground even as faces twisted in disbelief. "Essentially, I want to sponsor the community day you've mentioned. We'll cover the costs of the venue, supplies, and even some small grants for the best ideas that come out of it." Maya felt her pulse quicken. A huge opportunity lay in front of them, but Brenda was still a double-edged sword. "What's the catch?" Maya asked, her tone firm yet cautious. "No catch," Brenda replied swiftly. "Just an open invitation to reclaim what's been lost. If you all can let me show you that I'm serious about this, let's make it happen. I want to be part of the solution." Maya watched as doubt flickered in many eyes, but so did something else. Hope. It settled like a warm glow in the chilly air. Finally, after a moment of silence that felt like eternity, the older man spoke again. "All right. I'm in, but we will be watching closely." Maya turned to Charles, who nodded his encouragement, and something deep within her began to stir. "If we do this, it has to be transparent," Maya insisted, her confidence rising. "We need to ensure everyone has a voice in how this money is spent. No hidden agendas." Brenda held her gaze, a flicker of appreciation sparking in her eyes. "Deal." Applause began to ripple through the crowd, hesitantly at first, but it grew. Maya felt their hopes rising, rekindled just by the idea of possibility. This could be a moment that turned into momentum. Before they could dive into the details, a child's laughter broke through, pulling everyone's focus to a group gathered on the sidelines. They were watching the exchange, wide-eyed and hopeful, their innocence a stark contrast to the tension of the moment. Maya's heart swelled as she realized the weight of what they were building. What if this wasn't just about a community day but about forging a new path forward? As things began to settle, a voice echoed from the crowd, "What if we reimagine the way things have always been?" Maya turned toward the sound, her mind racing with the implications of that challenge. She knew this was only the beginning of a much larger conversation. In that moment, her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a notification that froze her. An urgent message from the town council: "We need you at 7. There's something you must see." Her heart dropped. What now? And why did she sense that whatever was coming could change everything they just started? Maya's fingers trembled as she stared at the screen of her phone, the message drawing her away from the vibrant energy of the gathering. In a split second, the camaraderie and hope surrounding her felt fragile, almost like a delicate glass sculpture waiting for a prod to shatter it. "I have to go," she announced, her voice rising above the murmurs. "The town council needs me." A chorus of protests erupted. "But Maya!" Charles exclaimed, stepping closer. "We were just getting somewhere. You can't leave now." I know," she said, feeling torn between duty and momentum. "But whatever they need to show me, it feels urgent, like it could change everything." Brenda watched her closely, the warmth of the previous moments rapidly fading. "What do they want?" "It can't be good news if they're requesting you before the meeting." Her voice carried a hint of concern. Maya shrugged, but a knot formed in her stomach. "I don't know. I'll find out. I promise to come back and fill you all in. Please keep the energy alive here." With that, she hurried away, pressing the phone tightly against her ear as she stepped into the brisk evening air. The town hall was just a few blocks away, but each step felt heavier than the last. With every heartbeat, thoughts rushed through her. What could be so significant that they needed her right away? Would they derail the good chance she'd just managed to secure for her community? As she turned the final corner, the town hall loomed before her, a brick building that had seen far better days. She took a deep breath, feeling the warmth dissipate as she pushed the door open and entered. The wood creaked, accompanied by the amalgamation of voices that echoed in the spacious room. Maya spotted the council members seated in a semicircle, their faces grim. Her heart raced. "What is going on?" she asked, dread settling in her chest. The mayor, a stern-looking woman with tired eyes, motioned for her to join them. "Maya, thank you for coming. We have something important to discuss." As she made her way to the center, she felt every set of eyes studying her, their expressions a mixture of concern and urgency. "Is this about Brenda?" she asked, holding herself steady. "It is, actually," the mayor began. "We've received troubling reports. She's looking to re-establish her ties with influential donors, and it could affect the community project." The room buzzed with whispers, their clamor rising like a tempest. Maya stood frozen, grappling with the implications. Brenda had promised transparency, was that slipping through their fingers? "This isn't just about her past, you understand, right?" the mayor pressed. "There are vested interests that could jeopardize what you're trying to build here." Every word struck like a hammer. Fragments of the vibrant crowd she had just left flashed before her eyes, vibrant hopes now feeling like fragile dreams. She took a step back, trying to compose her thoughts while the implications of Brenda's actions spun in her mind. "Wait," she finally said, her voice clearer now. "If we decide to partner with her, we'll make it clear that her past doesn't dictate our future. This community day is for us, not her." "Are you sure?" one council member asked, hesitation lacing his tone. Trusting her again could be dangerous. Maya felt the weight of those words, but there was a flicker of something else, determination. "We take control of this narrative ourselves. If we do it together, with transparency, we'll safeguard our future." The murmurs quieted, attention shifting once more to her. Maya took a deep breath. "I'm willing to fight for this, for our vision. Who's with me?" At that moment, the door swung open, and in walked Brenda, her expression unreadable. She looked directly at Maya, and the air crackled between them, ripe with unresolved tension. Maya's heart raced. What would Brenda say? Could this unexpected meeting further complicate everything she was trying to build? "Looks like I'm not the only one fighting for something tonight," Brenda declared, a hint of a smirk on her lips. Maya's stomach churned. "What are you doing here?" she managed, desperate to keep the control of the situation. "Let us talk," Brenda replied simply. And as everyone looked between them, their fates intertwined once more. Maya's thoughts spiraled into all that could unfold. Could Brenda's new intentions salvage their plans, or would they lead to the downfall of everything they had fought for? The clock on the wall ticked, the seconds stretching out. With stakes this high, the next move would define everything. Maya stood, heart pounding, as the weight of the decisions before her felt heavier than ever. Brenda's entrance seemed to absorb the very air from the room. This was a moment that demanded clarity. It was time to rise to the challenge. "Let us cut to the chase," Brenda said, her voice steady yet layered with tension. "I want to be part of the solution. But it's going to take collaboration for us to work together." The council members exchanged skeptical glances. Maya's thoughts raced. Could they really trust her, or was this just another ploy to regain influence? "Why should we believe you?" Maya asked, her voice firmer now. "You've let us down before, Brenda. If we're to trust you again, it has to be completely open." Brenda squared her shoulders, meeting Maya's gaze head-on. "Because I know I messed up. I lost sight of what was important. This isn't about me or my former position. It's about this community and giving you back the power you deserve." Maya could see the sincerity flickering within Brenda's eyes. The years of frustration bubbled over, confronting her with a choice. Would trust this reformed version of someone they had all condemned? "All right," Maya said slowly, weighing each word carefully. "Let us have a public forum at our community day. Show your commitment there. Bring everyone together, let us face the questions openly." Brenda nodded, a spark igniting in her eyes. "I can do that. You'll have my word. But you all must agree to hold me accountable. This isn't just my journey, it's ours." Maya felt a rush of hope mingle with caution, her heart dancing on the edge of possibility. We'll watch each other's backs. That's the only way this works, she affirmed, her voice strong and resolute. The council members began nodding, murmurs of agreement filling the room. With each passing moment, Maya felt the invisible chains of doubt begin to loosen. Then, suddenly, Charles burst into the room, his expression a mix of determination and urgency. Maya. You won't believe it. People are rallying outside the town hall. Everyone wants to support the community day. They've made posters, banners, it's incredible. Maya's heart soared, a sense of unity washing over her. See. This is all possible, even amidst our doubts. Brenda looked between them, a delicate smile breaking through her tough facade. That's what I'm talking about. We can create a wave of change together. Okay. The mayor interjected, sensing their energy. Let us make this happen. We'll organize a town meeting to allow the community to voice their concerns and engage with these new plans. If Brenda's serious, that's a step in the right direction. Hope surged through Maya as she met Charles's eyes. Then let us take it to them. We'll face this together. No more shadows to hide behind. As they regrouped outside, the warm Philly air wrapped around them. The gathering crowd pulsated with excitement. Posters fluttered in the breeze, bright colors reflecting aspirations and dreams now tangible visions. Maya felt the electric energy, her heart racing not with fear, but with possibility. Let us put those ideas into action. We need workshops, food, music. Let people showcase what they can offer. Maya called out, her voice rising over the clamor of excitement that as people rallied around. They began brainstorming ideas, laughter mixing freely with the hum of conversation. Kids twirled around, their joy infectious, and in that moment, Maya looked at Charles and Brenda. Can you feel this? She said quietly, a radiant smile lighting her face. This is what it's about. Rebuilding, together. Not just a place but relationships. Trust. Brenda caught her gaze, a flicker of understanding passing between them. I'm ready to do this, Maya. Let us prove that change can root. Absolutely. Maya exclaimed, her heart swelling with determination. We owe it to ourselves, to each other. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Maya stood shoulder to shoulder with Charles and Brenda, feeling the community circle around them. All the challenges ahead remained daunting. But they were no longer alone in the fight. They had forged a connection, one of resilience, hope, and a promise of tomorrow filled with support. Everything was coming together like the pieces of a vibrant tapestry reflecting a collective dream, a beacon shining amid what once felt hopeless. Ready to create a legacy? Charles smiled, glancing around at the gathering excitement. Maya nodded, her eyes sparkling with the warmth of possibility. Let us do this. A thunder of applause erupted as hands waved and voices soared. The journey ahead would not be simple, but they stood prepared as a community that would rise together, not just for today but for every tomorrow. And as the stars began to twinkle overhead, Maya's heart brimmed with joy, her spirit dancing with hope, feeling the rhythm of change in every heartbeat around her. Now it's your turn. You need to subscribe immediately to see all the exclusive stories that inspire. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and support our mission. Comment below with your feelings about this emotional journey and share instantly with at least 5 friends who need this spark of hope in their lives. Don't wait not even one more second to take action.